Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Pricey Popcorn Podcast. It's Ben Kelkus here with Brady Altland. We are back for another episode today. We are talking the best adaptations of video games into movies. Quite the interesting topic. Brady, what do you think?
Yeah, just crazy how so many have been made and so many are in the works of being made. I think it's a cool but interesting trend because we've had a lot of bad ones.
Right, and it's kind of something that has been going on through time. You know, even back in the 90s or whenever that Mario movie came out, like people have been doing video game movies for a while, but now it's just like every property thinks that there's going to be a movie. Some further into development than others, but there's been finally, I think in the past couple years, some decent stuff that's come out, and maybe there's some hope for more good stuff in the future. I don't know. Are you hopeful for good movies? Good video
Yeah, I mean, I think
movies?
the premises are going to be great. So we were talking before we started rolling. I'm ecstatic for the Uncharted movies with Tom Holland.
Right. So,
I think they're going to do a good job because Tom Holland's actually a good actor. And they're not going to CGI a bunch of shit into it. And I think the story will be good. And, you know, have you ever played the Nathan Drake games?
I actually have not played much Uncharted. But, I mean, from what I gather, it's that sort of wilderness adventure sort of... So my fear about that movie is it turns into the fourth Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, so I mean that's a fair comparison to say that he's like kind of like Indiana Jones because like he hunts for treasure and like battles bad guys and stuff. But yeah, it's like a wilderness adventure. Like he's doing his thing. I've seen like a lot of backlash about Tom Holland playing him, so like the games it's like adult Nathan Drake. You know, he's like a young adult, probably like 30 or something. Tom Holland's supposed to be like. Because you get a little origin story in the games.
Okay.
Like you play as him as a kid, and I think in the second one for like a little bit. But I think this is supposed to be like his like coming to age, like giving you more background information on like who he is and everything. So I think it'll be a good mix of. I think it'll be more of an actual movie than like a video game because it's not going to focus on any of the video game stuff probably.
Right, and so I guess that kind of gets into the thought about what makes a good video game adaptation because, I mean, in order for it to be a good movie, you can't harp too much on the video game stuff. It's got to, like, just breathe as its own story, but then you're going to have the people who are fans of the game get all upset that you ignored certain aspects of it. And, like, do you have to try to incorporate some of the gameplay elements into the way that you shoot the movie or anything like that?
Yeah, so it's weird. So like Sonic's one that comes to mind because like they incorporate the gameplay stuff into it with like the coins and everything, and it's just the concept of Sonic.
Right.
Like how are you supposed to make that movie like the video game? You can't.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna make it a 2D side-scrolling movie.
But like so like that's just the concept of like, hey, let's take Sonic and put him in.
But I mean, there is interesting stuff you can do, like, and I think Assassin's Creed movies probably did some interesting stuff with like the Eagle Vision or whatever, and like, you know, using the whatever the machine is that sends you into
I honestly didn't see it. So.
Yeah, I've like only seen kind of criticism of it because it's not. I mean, most video game movies, I see them right off the bat. I'm like, I don't really care about.
So I feel like there's two things I think you can differentiate here. So there's the ones with it's an all, you know, human cast. I guess there's three. Yeah, there's a complete live action. Then there's like the Sonic Detective Pikachu where it's
mixed,
and then you have the totally animated. And I feel like people it's so easy to mess up the live action because they usually don't have good actors and it's usually not written well enough. So that's why I'm really hopeful for the Uncharted one because they actually, like Tom Holland's, you know, he's one of the best actors out right now. He's doing his thing. He's in everything and killing it. So I can see him as a young Nathan Drake. I have a hard time believing it won't be at least, you know, like above average.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm looking forward to that because that does seem like the kind of property that could translate well. For some interesting visuals, for a story that seems grounded enough in reality that it's not going to look just ridiculous on the screen. Because that's part of the trouble is you end up having stuff just look ridiculous We're not.
Yeah, but sci-fi movies and stuff exist, and like they do crazy shit all the time in movies. It's not new. It's not new, especially for like Assassin's Creed. And like Tomb Raider's is great examples, and like like Resident Evil and Silent Hill and all those like old like horror movie or horror video game movies and stuff. It's like it's easy to do. Like it's not like you're doing crazy stuff on camera. Like horror movies have been a thing. Sci-fi movies do crazy stuff all the time, and they get it right. I think it's just like lack of funding in a lot of these live action movies.
And I guess probably a lack of understanding of the source material to a certain degree.
Yeah, they just take the concept and be like, oh, we'll just throw them in.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of like when they adapt certain things to live action that were originally, say, animated.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, it's when you're watching something that's animated, you're already suspending your belief a little bit, your disbelief or whatever. So, you know, when you stick something in live action like that and you see somebody jump 30 feet in the air, it's either going to look great because they did a good job with the animation or, you know, the CG.
Yeah.
Or they did a bad job and it looks bad. So, I don't know. I think that Tomb Raider's the kind of franchise where that could translate well.
Yeah,
now another one, they do war movies real well. I bet you Call of Duty would end up having a decent adaptation.
So back to some stuff coming out. Like apparently they're making some Call of Duty ones, which would just be.
Yeah, IGN.
I think it's cool to see because again, it's like the name. So like if they could make a decent war movie with just like the tagline, you know, Call of Duty. I think it'll be okay, but you got to go get some decent actors. You got to have a good director on board. You got to have good storytelling elements. Like it's still a movie at the end of the day.
Or you could do what Halo does and just do animated versions. I don't know. That's like not exactly the way to do it.
But yeah, I think we like if we could have a Modern Warfare 2 type movie.
Yeah,
with like Ghost and.
Because I think you should pull from the original story. Not that like I guess Call of Duty has some good stories. Like Modern Warfare 2 is like the most captivating story.
Yeah, everyone loves the MW2, you know, main story.
Yeah, I remember being so heartbroken when Shepard turns on you and shoots you in the face or whatever.
Imagine
and
if they like threw that,
throwing the knife at his eye.
Yeah, imagine if they put all that. See, the thing is, I don't think they could like make it. They couldn't go 1-to-1, like put that in the movie because we all know what happens. But they could like do something with the characters. But they could like do something with the characters.
I guess
like a prequel or something like about Shepard or you know like there's so much they could do that people would be like, oh, that's so cool. Like if they got some big name actor to play Shepard in like a prequel type film, people would go crazy for it.
What's the dude who played the villain in Iron Man 1 and also like he's the Big Lebowski?
Oh gosh.
Bridgers something. Is it Kevin?
I'm blanking.
Kevin. No, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Iron Man.
Just do a quick Iron Man 1.
Villain.
But yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like, yeah, do something like within the realm of, you know, still Call of Duty, but, you know, don't just copy the story. Because the main story was already, like, you already have, like, long cutscenes in that and everything in the video game. So the video game itself is its own, you know, movie.
Yeah,
and
Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with like Assassin's Creed. I was really into that story for the first 4 games. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. The whole like Desmond's whole ordeal and the games did a good job of bouncing back and forth between the past and the future and making you care about both sides of that story. But from what I understand, the movie just kind of, I don't know, it falls flat. I believe it does. It focuses on different characters, or a different character kind of just makes something up. Doesn't really pull. Like I would probably rather just see them pull directly from the source material. But it's tough because when you make a video game adaptation of a movie, you are taking away an element of interaction with the medium. Because when you're playing a video game, not only do you have the story, but you are able to control the person in the world. When all of a sudden, movie watching is a passive experience, whereas video game playing is an active experience. Yeah. So it's tough to, interact with it on that level. Now, maybe that's why Pokemon movies do a little bit better, because of the fact that it's a turn-based RPG. That is not the kind of game where you are so actively, it's not like you are moving your Pokemon, making your Pokemon punch the other Pokemon. You're selecting an option and watching it
So
happen.
would you say that's why you think most of these movies suck?
Yeah, well, it's hard to like make it as good as the game. It's hard to impress the audience. And yeah, I think that maybe a lot of times these kind of stories don't hold up when you lose an element.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you a little there. I think it's 100% execution. I think if you just take the concept and you make a good movie off of it, it'll be a good movie.
I guess, but most of them are concept.
Most of them are concept. Yeah, but most they just are just concept, like Sonic concept based. I don't know if I've never played the Detective Pikachu game, so I didn't even know it was a game until 10 minutes ago. Yeah. But like, is that spot on? Like, or is it just Detective Pikachu?
No, it's kind of just Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, so it's all like if you just pull the concept and put.
Not that Detective Pikachu is like a phenomenal movie, but like, it's decent.
I think
it's probably the best video game movie that's happened.
I think so too.
Well, because I mean, the concept is iffy. It's just it happens to be what came out.
I thought it's a good story. Good story, animated well. It's like original. It's
original. I mean, the twist is a little unoriginal. You could see it from a mile
but it's like
away,
it's a little original movie. Like,
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's
cool. It's like it's not.
Well, yeah, because the story
like,
of Detective Pikachu isn't like. So at the end of spoiler alert, the end of Detective Pikachu, you find out that Detective Pikachu has been the main character's father the entire time. The father was turned into a Pikachu, and then he comes back or whatever. That is not something that happens in the game. In the game, Detective Pikachu is just a Pikachu who's out here solving mysteries. So that's an example, for your point where you can just kind of take the idea and try to execute it. But if it were that simple, you would think it would have happened now with all the.
Well, I think honestly, I feel like it's low. It's low budget or like.
I don't think these movies have had low budgets though by any stretch. Like, it's kind of just like maybe low effort. Like, like really just trying to get the most out of the budget.
Yeah, I feel like with some of them, like with the Mortal Kombat movies, they're just like, we'll just do an average action movie and just throw the Mortal Kombat name on it and it'll sell because people like Mortal Kombat instead of actually like trying to make a good movie.
Yeah, they've made a bunch of these Mortal Kombat movies. I don't know. Were you ever a Mortal Kombat player? I'm not one for like the.
No, I'd go to a friend's house and play, once.
Yeah, in a while. I couldn't like. I've bought a couple games up that alley where it's that kind of the classic fighting games where you're one-on-one kind of 2D. Not really my style. I mean, Smash Bros is my game. Would you like a Smash Bros movie?
I was just gonna say a Smash Bros. I mean,
what would I mean?
It'd have to be concept. It'd have to be concept based.
Yeah, well, like Smash Bros has the Subspace Emissary in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where there's kind of a story where these kind of beings are. I don't even quite remember what the hell's going on, but yeah, it's just basically turning the guys back into statues. I don't know. It's really weird. So how would you incorporate that? Is that what you would incorporate? Because I guess the lore of Smash Bros is that these are all children's toys and it's like all happening in a kid's imagination.
You could do something like that.
But like then what's the story within that? Is it like Toy Story kind of a deal where these people would interact?
You could do one where like the kid's parents are abusive to him and he really just loves all his like different toys, so he escapes into the thing. Or you could do something where like, his dad, gave him his old Mario toys and stuff, and his dad dies, so he escapes into this realm of.
Right. So the story then's more around the boy than around, or the.
Well, it could be both.
Child, rather than around the kid. Yeah, I guess like so. It's a matter of what kind of story.
Something stupid, but yeah, I mean,
characters.
I feel like they. I don't know.
Or do you strip it back and do like a Nintendo universe kind of a thing where like Link is interacting with Mario and a Hyrule. Mushroom Kingdom conflict.
Yeah, no idea. No idea, but
I don't think there's too much going on in Smash Bros to do anything good with it, I think. Now they are apparently making a Mario movie, like a new one, not like which is going to be animated.
Probably should be.
Yeah, probably should be because that's how we know Mario. That's how I want to see Mario. It's like when they did the first draft of Sonic, Sonic didn't look anything like what people expected him to look like.
Man,
you gotta keep it within.
They bullied them.
That was the start. That was the start of what then became the Snyder Cut and what's going to be a mess for. Now you had people chirping about release the Lucas cut of the Star Wars movies, all because the studio. Listen to the fans.
But like I guess to some degree, especially with the Sonic was bad. That first version, they deserved to get the criticism and being bullied and everything, you know?
Yeah, it did look pretty bad. Like that, the nose and the eyes.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't look great in the actual one.
He looked like Sonic, though. I mean, I don't like the hyper-realistic.
No, I don't either.
I don't need to see every strand of hair.
You said you didn't see Sonic?
No, but...
It was okay. I'd say you don't really... Jim Carrey was great in it.
Yeah, that's what I hear, is that it was kind of like
he's
Jim
probably
Carrey
the best
stole
part.
the show.
And whatever the main character's name is, whatever he's an actor, people know.
White guy.
Yeah, generic white guy. He was okay, but for the most part, it was... it's done okay. Like, the concept was there. Pretty much, like I said, just pulled Sonic.
Right.
And,
so up to this point, I think that the best that we have for video game movies has been Detective Pikachu. And it's like, to me, a solid B. Like, it's fine for a children's movie.
I could get behind like a C+.
For
Detective Pikachu. I could get behind a C+ for that.
Yeah. I was being a little generous with the B maybe. But
I can get behind it. But yeah, I was looking. We were talking while we were getting set up. I was looking at the worst of all time. The Pokemon. A lot of the Pokemon movies are on the worst of all time.
They're not
list.
Good. They're just for kids.
I think so. The
messaging's so heavy-handed.
The second to worst rated one, I think it's like a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes, is the original Pokemon movie, which you told me it was. I didn't even know it was a video game. I just thought they made it.
What, the original Pokemon movie?
Yeah, I just thought it was a movie.
How do you mean? Yeah, like it's just a movie, but it's a video game movie because it's Pokemon.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Okay, never mind. That's my bad. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I thought you meant it was based on its own specific. But
no,
it's kind of not fair.
There is no. Ash isn't a
Yeah.
So can you even? Yeah, that's the thing. Do you count all of? Is Pokemon a video game TV show? I mean, they do talk about some of the video game stuff.
What came
leveling?
First? The video game came first, and then they made the TV show.
Yeah, but it was all pretty close to one another.
I don't consider. I wouldn't consider them.
It's separate stuff. It's kind of.
But I like the original Pokemon movie. It's good. I don't care. It's good.
Sure. I mean, you got your nostalgia glasses on.
Have you seen the memes recently where it's like, oh, don't cry, it's just a movie, and then it goes, but this is the movie, and it shows screenshots from sad movies? Mm-hmm. It's a trend right now. You're telling me when Ash gets turned to stone and Pikachu and all the Pokemon start crying, you don't tear up a little? You're telling me it doesn't hit you in your feels and you're like, oh my gosh, how did 10-year-old me deal with this?
Yeah, I guess.
It's good. I don't care.
Sure. It's a kid's movie.
Yeah, so but it's good for a kid's movie.
Sure. I feel like kids today don't give a damn about that movie, because it doesn't hold up to and now that they
it's also from 1999 or something. It's old.
Yeah, I mean,
kids these days don't give a shit about anything that came out pre 2000.
I guess. I mean, a lot of the Disney stuff probably still hits. But yeah, I mean, stuff was a little slower paced back then.
But yeah, I wouldn't count the Pokemon movies as because it's not the TV show's there.
Right. I mean, they do talk about some stuff from the games, as in leveling and moves, and I don't know. There's some other stuff I'm probably forgetting.
I wouldn't count it, but that's just me. That's just me personally with my experience of Pokemon. It's so many other things. It's not just a video game.
I would be interested in seeing a video game, or rather a movie adaptation of some of the original Pokemon games, or the main series Pokemon games. Because give me something with Red, where Red's going in to take down Team Rocket.
My whole thing is, I think the movies are based on the shows, though. I feel like probably wouldn't be movies if there wasn't shows. So
indeed.
So that's where I come from.
Yeah. So I mean, then it's like, is the show a video game show? But that's kind of
it's like so deep in like Yu-Gi-Oh. Or the Yu-Gi-Oh movies aren't video game movies.
Well, the video game wasn't first for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, it's true.
It's a card.
Yeah.
Well, it was. That's all complicated because it was a manga first.
Yeah.
And then the card game came after the manga.
Sorry, I'm confusing things here.
So yeah, that's a whole topic. I don't know. Yeah, I would love to see, Pokemon Red, the movie. I mean, then I go off on my I'd love to see an adult kind of Pokemon, but like, it's a kid's property. Relax.
Where Ash is taking shots.
Yeah, or like I wouldn't want Ash anything. Ash wouldn't have anything to do with it. Maybe Brock.
Brock's like, well, Brock could be getting laid. He'd be trying to have sex with all the Nurse Joys.
I just mean I want some like adult themes.
You want to hear Ash be violence. Like, Pikachu, fuck him up. That'd be wild. Where like Pikachu's like dying and he's gotta he's.
Well, they'd have to bring Ryan Reynolds back to play that Pikachu.
I'd love to see an adult Pokemon. Oh my!
I'm just talking like PG-13.
No, I want rated R, where like Brock's smoking weed and
that's our generation,
and he's dressed in Supreme and a snapback. He's wearing like Jordan 1 mids.
Maybe in 20 years, because when our generation's totally in control and we still haven't grown up,
it'll be like the Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my God, with its like snappy editing.
Yeah, and, just imagine, dude.
Wow. I don't know. Any other honorable mentions for good video game movies? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the Mortal Kombat's, Assassin's Creed's, it's worth mentioning all the Tomb Raiders, all the
apparently
Silent Hill and those kind of movies. It's worth it.
I don't know. Tomb Raider, I was hearing something about like the most recent Tomb Raider kind of like does a better job of ditching some of the sexist tropes that you get. It's actually like framed from it's framed with less of a male gaze than like the first Tomb Raider adaptation or whatever. I'm talking out of my ass at that point. But I think Tomb Raider has potential to be kind of like Uncharted. And then, the fact that it's a female lead, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's all casting too. Like if they got some like really good, really like someone who's actually charismatic woman actress to play the role, they'd have success with it, I think.
True. And then like success is a tough thing to navigate there because, when you have a female fronted movie, if you don't direct it in a way that like if it's just like super misogynistic, you're gonna, regardless of how well it does, you're gonna get that criticism. So I think directing is like a huge part of it too in that regard.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do, but there's some other, so they're supposed to make a Twisted Metal movie, which I loved that game as a kid. I always played Twisted Metal on my PS1 back in the day. I have no idea what they'll do. No idea like what kind of movie it'll be. Like maybe it'll be like, have you seen Death Race?
No.
Are you familiar with them?
No. What is that? Death Race?
Yeah, they like drive these souped up cars and they like drive like.
Is it like a Fast and the Furious kind of deal?
Kind of, yeah. They drive like souped up like metal cars with like guns and stuff, and they try to kill each other to cross the finish line. They're like prisoners. They like fight for their lives, stuff like that. So Twisted Metal could kind of maybe be like, I don't know, but I'm excited for it. It'll be cool, to say the least.
Oh, Jumanji. I guess Jumanji was. I don't know that.
Board game, right?
Board game, yeah, maybe. Oh, I get the most recent Jumanji movies. Jumanji's a video game, so it just came up when I looked up video game movies. That's fair, I guess, but it's not. That's not video like a video game adaptation. Movie. Yeah, it's a movie about video game. Wreck-It Ralph had some cool cameos.
I haven't seen that. I'm sleeping on them.
Yeah, it's actually, I liked Wreck-It Ralph the time that I saw that.
Didn't you say they're supposed to make a Minecraft movie?
Yeah, I saw that. Apparently that, like, what? How could that possibly be good?
Guess what they're going to make in the next 5 years?
Minecraft versus Angry Birds?
No, I was gonna say Fortnite movie.
Oh yeah,
they have to make a Fortnite 100%. Movie. They have to. I don't know who needs to get called, but they need to make a call to Hollywood and say, "Hey, let's make a Fortnite movie."
I'm sure those calls are being made as we speak.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm running out of gas for video game movies, though.
So you said Smash and kind of like the earlier Pokemons. Is there any video games you'd like really want to see?
Okay, yeah, I would be interested in how they do Smash. I mean, I would love to see them do a Jedi Fallen Order adaptation. But yeah, I don't know. For the most part, there's a lot of video games I want to just have kind of left alone. But I don't know.
There's one I really want. So I'd love to see. Before I get to the one I really would love to see, I'd love any like a Skyrim Elder Scrolls movie.
Right.
I think would do well.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, I'm getting all reversed. Witcher.
Yeah, that's a TV show.
That was a movie. Excuse me, that was a book, then a video game, then a TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which apparently the TV show is really good.
Yeah.
But again, TV shows probably better success. You know, you get to do it differently. But yeah, I think an Elder Scrolls one would be cool.
Drawn out. Yeah, I feel like I would like more like video game series than I would video game movies.
And then, so, I don't know if you've ever played the game Bloodborne.
Okay.
Like, I probably played that game more than I played any other game. I would love a movie or a TV show about it.
Yeah.
I would love... A TV show would be probably preferred, but there's so much lore that's, like, not in the game that's just hinted at. Like, you never really get answers to a lot of, like, why you're in the game. There's no, like, instructions of the game. Like, you just wake up and you have to go fight. And there's, like, so much unanswered.
Wow.
About like who you are, why you're there, like what you're doing, like what happened. Are you familiar with Bloodborne like at all?
No.
Pretty much there's like a town. There's like a city that has like bad blood that's like turning people into monsters.
Wow.
And you're like an outside. It's been a while since I played the game, but you're like an outside, person who's there to fight, and like you don't really get a lot of answers as to like why you're there, like if you're dead, if you're not, like you get some answered by the end, but you still like there's not a lot of hints of the lore. So it'd be a great movie if they could like make it where because there's so much to explore there. I think it'd be great. I'd love to see it.
I would love a good Legends of Zelda movie, I think, too, if they could do like the hero's journey really well.
Would they do it live action?
Yeah, I think you could.
Who would play?
Tom Holland.
You just can't cast any young kid as Tom Holland now.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know who would play. I mean, that's not what I'm too worried about.
Who would you want to play him?
I don't know.
Tom
who's
Holland?
Like young, because like Link's supposed to be either like 13 or 19. So.
One of the Stranger kids.
Yeah.
Stranger Things kids.
I don't know. Maybe make it animated, or maybe just don't touch it. Because, yeah, that would probably not be good. Because Link is a character who doesn't speak. So how do you make Link into a character? Again, another thing about video games is you're supposed to here I go with that. But you end up, putting your own personality into the character you're playing as for a lot of these movies. So there isn't really a character to go off of. So your main character is going to be kind of bland unless you really deviate from the source. You end up having the Jyn Erso problem. But, yeah, I don't know.
I think that's going to wrap it up, man, unless you have any...
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to just play some video games. Probably just shoot some motherfuckers in Call of Duty for like an hour. Or not. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the Pricey Popcorn podcast.
Yeah, comment any movie or any video games you guys played growing up that you maybe want to see as a movie, or if there's any movies we missed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some like interesting video game movies you might love that we did not cover. Let us know at the Pricey Popcorn podcast. What's exactly the handle on Instagram?
It's just Pricey Popcorn these days.
At Pricey Popcorn these days on the Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Benny.okay, BENNY.OKAY. Sauce us a follow and interact. We love to hear from you. So
yeah, we have over 200 all-time listens on the podcast. So thank you guys.
Thank you, each and every one of you.
It's exciting stuff. Yeah, take it easy. Have a good one. We'll be back next week.
Take care, y'all.